separation at quarterback? Do you feel like you know who your starter is going to be, and if so, who will that starter be?
Yeah, I would say right now, we're not going to name a starter today, but I do think there has been a little bit of separation. I think that CJ's separated a little bit here over the last couple of weeks. We'll see what this week brings. Certainly not making any decisions right now, but we have seen a little separation, yes.
What has CJ done to kind of catch your eye? What's he done to get that separation?
I don't think it's one thing. I think it's just over time. We've had, 26 practices now when you include the spring, and I think it's 11 now here in the preseason. And it's just a body of work over time.
Right behind him, Dan?
Ryan, Quinn Ewers just arrived this weekend. What's kind of a plan for him now that he's here on campus in terms of getting him acclimated and kind of bringing him into that quarterback?
We're going to show him the locker room and show him around the facility and get him going. He's obviously just got here and kind of in the middle of camp, so we have a good plan in place to try to get him kind of going here in camp. He's had a great attitude and happy he's here.
First time we've been able to ask you about him, so just kind of what is it like having him here? I mean, what kind of attracted you to him in recruiting, and kind of what's it like having him here a year old?
Yeah, it's a very, very unique situation for sure. I think when you think about everything we went through with JTT and now with Quinn, it's just kind of, I guess, becoming a little bit more normal, these unique situations. But we're very, very excited to have him here. He's got a tremendous amount of talent. His family are awesome people, and he's about the right things. And early on, I actually offered him when he was in 8th grade, and it was really pretty neat. Saw him at an early age, kept recruiting him, built that relationship, and obviously very, very excited that he's a Buckeye.
Hey guys, feel free to lower your masks when you ask questions. Second row left, Steven.
Just for the sake of asking and getting it out of the way, I know there's no expectation that kid's going to be the starting quarterback in Minnesota, but for the sake of, could we see him play this year, even if it's in garbage minutes at the end of an already decided game?
I don't know. It's a long, long way to January, so I guess anything could happen, but we're just going to take it one day at a time and just see how everyone's working in that room. I think overall the quarterback room has made some good progress this year. I think when you look at all the guys, I think Jack and Kyle have both grown, and so we'll kind of see how things shake out. But we got another week of camp, and then once we kind of break on Saturday, then it's all kind of Minnesota. I think that's where we start looking at depth charts and where guys are. But we're a long way away from that when it comes to Quinn.
Right in front, Bill.
Ryan, you guys already had a lot to manage in your quarterback room. Now you insert Quinn in there, obviously draws a lot of attention. Changes probably your thinking in 22 and 23 recruiting as well. It just seems like it alters a lot. Maybe ideally you would like it to be a little more smooth than it is. It's like how did you weigh sort of what's easiest and best for you guys as a program and what's easiest and best for Quinn?
I think we have to look at it. I think I mentioned it before, kind of year to year because of all the things that go on. When we recruit guys, the first thing we tell them is that we're going to recruit the best players in the country. That's my job as the head coach at Ohio State is to bring in really good players. And these guys are here to compete, with everybody in that room. So we'll continue to recruit great players. We certainly don't want to lose anybody. That's not why we bring guys in here. We bring them in here to develop, and I feel like guys develop here as good as anybody in the country. So it's a room with a lot of growth right now. Where it goes moving forward, I don't know. We'll continue to recruit guys in each class, and then take it as it goes.
Does it change the conversations you're able to have with 2023 quarterbacks in particular now that Quinn's timeline is a little different than it was initially?
Yeah, I think so. I think everyone looks at that exactly right. But you never know. I mean, like the best laid plans don't always work that way. You think you have it all figured out, and all of a sudden something changes really, really fast. So, I think if guys believe that they can come in and play, and they believe in who they are, and they come in with the focus on developing, then we got the right fit. But yeah, I think that now that it's been a little bit of reclassification, I think that the 23 class certainly it looks a little bit different.
Over here to the right, Austin.
Ryan, have you guys received any update on Paulier?
Yeah, so EA is he's done everything we've asked him to do. He's paying his own way. He's applied for a waiver with the NCAA. He's taken some classes this summer and done everything we've asked him to do. He was in a very, very tough spot through COVID. Not to get into his family situation, but it was hard for him. And so we're very optimistic that the NCAA will grant his waiver to allow him to play this season. And so, again, really hoping that it works out for him because, again, he's done everything we've asked him to do. And I think when you get the details of everything he's been through over the last year, 2 years, but certainly in the last year with COVID, I think you'd understand kind of why things are the way they are for him. So again, very optimistic that he'll get the waiver.
Are you frustrated at all with the way that the process played out now in the middle of camp, and like you said, you've been doing everything up to this point?
Yeah, I don't. It's again, there's a lot of things coming out of COVID that we have to work through. It's certainly not ideal for him or us to not know if he's going to be eligible or not. He's been getting a decent amount of reps. That's a little unsettling when you think if he doesn't get his waiver, he'll be ineligible to play right now. So that's hard on him, but hopefully we get a quick response so we can get him some information and us some information so we can move forward.
Front row middle. Bill?
Ryan, how much separation is there with CJ? What has he done to separate himself, and how did the scrimmage go?
Yeah, I thought the scrimmage went well. I thought guys played well across the board. I don't know how much separation, I'm not sure, but I'll say that every day he's been competing. He's been taking care of the football, making good decisions. He's been a leader. Those are all some of the traits that we're looking for, and certainly moving the team down the field to score touchdowns is something that we look for.
And how did he, I'm assuming you told all these guys, how did he take it? How did Jack and how did Kyle take it?
Yeah, they've been great. They've been great. They understand no decisions have been made yet, but that's where it's at, and that's part of the process is communicating, and I think we do a really good job of that, understanding, okay, here's where you're at, here's what you're doing well, but these are the areas that we need to improve in, and that's for everybody across the board. And so it's a long season. That's what I think all those guys understand, and will continue to understand, is that we're talking about going all the way to January, and so everything that that my experience is we're going to need everybody, and one thing's for sure, there's going to be one starter. In terms of that first play, I always say that against Minnesota, and then at that point, we see where it goes.
When did the separation really start to happen?
I don't think it was one point. I just think, again, it's a kind of a body of work over the last, 26 practices, and we're starting to get to that game week now. It's coming around the corner, so we have to start making some decisions.
Right behind him, Rob.
Ryan, it's tricky with Quinn, right? Because on one hand, he has every right to make money off NIL. And yet, the other hand, you've got a guy, you guys preach brotherhood and being there for the guy, and yet his teammates at Carroll aren't going to have him. Have you talked that through? How do you sort of work that out with him and with your own guy?
Yeah, I think this is all new to everybody, and everyone has a unique situation. And I know it was hard for him to leave his high school teammates. I know it was very, very hard for him to say goodbye to his high school coach. They were very, very close, and it's just one of those things that we have to start embracing different situations like this. And I know our guys are going to do the same thing. They'll embrace him on the team. It's again not something that we haven't had different high-profile guys come into the program, and that happens here. And so he'll do a good job of kind of working his way in, earn the respect of the team, and they'll embrace him.
Right behind him, Patrick.
Ryan, we were asking Kevin last week about mobile quarterbacks. Obviously, that's been a big thing. Even with Dwayne, he still was able to move. How important is that to have from these guys, whoever wins the job, and how are you seeing that part of their game?
Yeah, we look at it like the first thing you have to be able to do is be accurate with the ball and be a great decision maker. That's first and foremost, because we have to be able to throw the football. But if you can create with your feet, if you can extend, if you're athletic enough to read a defensive end and win 80% of the time, then that's good enough. Anything on top of that, like Justin, is kind of gravy. So everybody that we recruit has to have some sort of athleticism in some way, shape, or form. I wouldn't categorize Dwayne as a dual threat, but he did it enough to get the job done, and I think these guys can do the same thing.
Over here to the far right, Dylan.
Last week you mentioned that it's a big week in terms of establishing an identity for the team. How's that progression gone? How comfortable are you with that identity and starting to take shape?
Yeah, I thought that we midweek last week, we're in camp. It was a grind. Nerves were raw, and I think we really finished the week really well. I thought the scrimmage was really physical on Saturday. We got, I think, maybe over 15 to 20 guys grayed out as champions, and I was very impressed with the way we finished the week. Very workmanlike. It was hard. We had 3 hard physical practices, and now as we head into this week, same type of thing. I think we are creating an identity. I still think that the leadership needs to come on in terms of having a voice with each unit, But by the end of the week this week, guys have to become game ready. And what's game ready? Game ready is different for different people. What's game ready for Chris Olave and Zach Harrison is different for Denzel Burke and Emeka Buka. So everyone's kind of different, but that's the goal by the end of the week here.
Third row, right, Tony.
Yeah, that's the goal by the end of the week. Yeah, to get to there. I think we have an opportunity to do that. Right now, no, I don't think we're there quite yet. But a few more practices under our belt, and we'll be close. I'm excited about the potential for that group. I think that we've gotten tougher in that room. The blocking on the perimeter has improved, and so the route running and the big plays, those will come naturally. But if the blocking improves and the toughness improves, catching the ball over the middle, blocking, all those type of things, and they become complete players as a unit, that's when they can be really special. And they've shown that this spring. I've been very, very impressed with that. So, yeah, I'm hoping by the end of the week here we got a full group. Been very impressed. I think those two young guys have tremendous makeup, their work ethic, but physically for their age, they're advanced, tough. Yeah, I mean, all the above. So I've been very, very impressed.
Front row right up here. Tim?
I'll ask 1B first. Have you had any holy kombucha sport drink yet?
I have not.
What do you see in an 8th grader that makes you think this guy is worthy of being offered, so to speak? I mean, what just jumped out at you about Quinn from the jump?
Well, it was kind of, honestly, at that age, it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, to be honest with you. It's not that serious. But I think we just saw somebody who, really had a natural throwing ability and, has a great makeup and competitive spirit. And so, when you combine all of those things and then playing at a great school with a great program and what he's done there, add all those things up, it's a great package.
But even today, did his arm jump out at you? I mean, did his throwing ability, what caught your eye about him today?
Like I said, he's just trying to figure out where to stretch out right now. So, we'll see. We're a long way from all that.
Third row left, Joey.
Ryan, obviously this is new with somebody like Quinn coming in your high school. How do you kind of work him into a practice and all that?
That's what we're going to figure out. But there's some other guys who, we're playing a game here in 17 days, I think it is. So we got to get those guys ready first, and then we'll bring him along as it goes.
Third row, far left, Nathan.
Ryan, just want to clarify with CJ. You made it a point to say that everybody's kind of getting a lot of reps in that room. When you say that he's separating, are you starting out to separate the reps in that room too?
A little bit, not as much as if it was game week just yet. No, so we're still going to spread those reps around the best we can this week, but we're working towards that right now.
Anything specifically scrimmage on the defensive side of the ball that is still concerned you, maybe especially linebackers in the secondary?
I mean, when you look at the film of our scrimmage, I thought it was excellent on defense. I thought we were contesting throws on the perimeter. Impressed with some of those young corners. I thought it was really well done up front. I thought there was a lot of energy and got a few 3 and outs in there. I thought we tackled okay. It's not all perfect. We got work to do. We got a lot of work to do. But it was competitive. There was energy, and it was a big step for our defense.
Second row right, Clay.
How was Quinn accepted by the group? How did he fit in today?
Yeah, good. I mean, the guys are great. They get it. They understand what's going on, and I think they see somebody who's stepping in a tough spot, and so they're embracing it.
Third row left, Doug Maurice.
Ryan, with the receiver rotation, veterans like Garrett and Chris, who are as good as anybody in the country, might you rotate less there than maybe you would in the slot where Jackson is quite as that might work out?
Yeah, we like to rotate, as you know. So if guys are, again, game ready, then they're going to play. Now, how much can they handle? That's another question. I do think that Chris and Garrett have proven that they can handle a bunch of reps in games, more than probably anybody that I can remember since we've been here. Maybe Terry McLaurin was the only other one that could play, north of 40 to 50 snaps in a game. So we'll see. But if, Julian's had a really good camp, Marvin's played really well, Emeka's played well. So, I mean, those guys are going to get in the game, and that helps them. I mean, I think that when you look at late in the season and, as you start getting into November and December, having, guys that can get in there and take some reps away from those guys, it goes a long way so that they're fresh late in the season and they're fresh in the fourth quarter.
Was that first line together a lot with Nick at left and Meyer at Thayer at guard and Dewan at right tackle? Was that in the scrimmage? What did you see in the scrimmage from that group?
Yeah, there's been some movement back and forth on that, but I think that when Dewan's played right tackle, he's done really well. He's had a good camp for himself. I think that Nick is also from moving right to left at times and then back to right at other times. He's handled that very well. It's different though. Playing right tackle and playing left tackle is different. Your punch with your left hand is different than your punch with your right hand. And Nick's very, very conscientious. He's really sharp. He learns very, very quickly. So, again, that move for him is not something that's, he doesn't look like a fish out of water. He's doing great.
Over here to the far right, third row, Mark.
Getting back to Stroud, how did that relationship develop? When did you see him? What did you
Yeah, it was a little bit later in the process. He was a little bit of a late bloomer, and we recognized him late in the process and looked at our room and realizes that because of our numbers and depth, we needed to add one more piece to it. And we're obviously very excited to get him when it worked out. And he's kind of come in and done everything we've asked him to do.
Time for a couple more. Second row middle, Rob.
Ryan, I know that. Back to kombucha. I know that the NIL is becoming the new normal, but you're old school, you got muscle memory. Is your mind blown by some of this stuff? When you see a guy doing that, when you see a guy in front of a truck getting a truck, knowing what it used to be, how much of an adjustment for you just personally, and maybe even worry, like, when you see something like that?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that worry you nowadays. I think spending a lot of time on it doesn't do you any good. So we're figuring all these new things out and trying to adapt quickly because there's a lot of change. And again, you can get frustrated and worry about it, but it doesn't do you any good. Let's try to figure out solutions. But I'm happy for our guys. This is a wonderful opportunity for them. Certainly there are some concerns along the way, but the fact that these opportunities now exist, it really is exciting for them and their families. I worry, about all of the things like paying taxes and, putting the money away and saving it for a rainy day and those type of things. And that's what we're doing. We're obviously educating the parents as well, but we're educating our players to make sure that they use this opportunity, and don't regret any decisions that they made along the way, because it is coming fast and furious at them. I know that there's going to be some deals coming pretty soon that are pretty amazing and great opportunities that I've caught wind of, and I'm excited for our guys.
Do you allow yourself to think it was however many years ago you'd be retired and go around a beach?
I might have got a few meatball subs up in New Hampshire somewhere, but speaking of New Hampshire, I'm very proud of my Little League team back home, who's done such a great job. Nina and I were both on the same Little League team at North Little League. And so we're both North Little League alums, so we've been pulling for the home team in the Little League World Series.
Over here to the right, Austin.
There's a balance between being physical and staying healthy. We've had a couple of starters, 7 missing days, they're missing days, Zach. Is there anything that has been long-term injuries or just precautionary stuff?
Yeah, I don't want to jinx myself, so I'm not going to answer, but I'm very pleased with how physical we were yesterday, and I think the guys have been doing a pretty good job of taking care of their bodies and recovering.
Right next door, Tim.
Does that go for Thayer too? I mean, was Thayer available on Saturday?
Yeah. He didn't really practice all that much here the last few days, but Thayer's been doing great. He had a great off season. Really done some great things. So we're obviously excited as the season comes in here that Thayer's going to be great.
What did you see any kind of, like, you talk about separation stuff at the running back spot on Saturday? Did somebody step up? I mean, I know you're not big on naming names. But
right.
Is there
there any separation in that area?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're there yet in that room, but I'm I'm optimistic about that room. They've really been getting after it. And there's a bunch of guys that I think Trey's really brought the level of that room up, and Evan Pryor stepped up. But Master Teague's had the best camp since I've been here. I mean, he's running hard, running physical, and Mayan's been very consistent. Marcus Crowley ran hard the other day. So, if it was just one guy that was head and shoulders above the rest of the group, or even two, I would say so. But I think they've all kind of brought something to the table. Now, you can't play them all, but we'll roll guys, and again, we'll see. This is maybe a separator week in that room too. We'll see.
Finish one more quick.
Sure.
CJ Stroud, then who? Does anybody else separate themselves? Who next?
Yeah, that's kind of what this week is right here. I think as we start to get into that game week, we start to get an idea of that, and the depth chart gets made. But I mean, again, still not naming a starter, so we're not quite there yet. But this is a big week for those guys.
A couple more. Front row middle. Bill.
Tim, actually, my running back's question. First of all, can you confirm the meeting was a better Little League player than me?
It was close. It was close. I'm not giving her that though.
About the linebackers, we talked with Val last week in the linebackers. How do you envision that unit playing out? Situational? Do you expect to play 3 or 4 guys? And who's kind of risen to the top?
At linebacker?
Yeah, linebacker.
Again, I think, you're going to see some depth played there. I think the older guys, Dallas is starting to get back into the rhythm of things. He had a little bit of an injury coming into camp, but he's been now practicing better, so he's getting in a rhythm. Taraj has been doing well, and those young guys, Tommy and Cody, are growing every day. The more reps they get, the better. The problem was even last year, when you think about all those guys I just named, they didn't play a lot. Pete and Tuff and Barron and Justin, when you look at the majority, they got all those snaps. So they're very conscientious. Al does a great job with the linebackers, but they just haven't played and practiced a ton, real game situations. So every time they come off the field with a scrimmage situation or, team reps under their belt, they're getting better. So again, it's another position I think you're going to see us roll. Yeah, they're back and practicing. So, I think Coach Combs said the other day it was like the first time that he's really had the entire secondary out there practicing. And we got a pretty big secondary, so that was encouraging.
Over far left, Bill.
Ryan, you said back in 2019 we had a new starting quarterback. You guys were really going to have to kind of ride JK early in that season just to kind of get Justin comfortable. I know you don't have a JK, but you do have a massive offensive line and depth of running back that you're talking about. Do you see it playing out similarly here at the start of this season too?
Well, I think everybody on that whole offense has got to help with a young quarterback across the board. I think our tight end's got to play veteran. Jeremy's got to play veteran. We need those guys in there. The running backs have got to bring it, like you said. The offensive line have got to help, and those wide receivers got to help. I mean, we always want balance. If we're at our best, even when Justin was young, we had really good balance, and that's what we're going to strive for. But like you said, those guys got to play veteran, and they got to help a young quarterback along.
And last question, second row left, Steven.
We'll kind of see how it plays out. We're going to recruit everybody right now and recruit guys in his class and the next class and the class after that. We'll come up for air in January and see where this thing's at.
And finally, a quickie from Dave.
Ryan, is there a concern you had entering camp that's already been alleviated to some degree?
That's a good question. I would probably say, coming out of, last week, I just was really excited about how physical we were, and I guess, not that I had a question mark there, but I've just been very, very excited about that. I just thought that, guys were coming off the ball and there was physical running and tackling, and just was really impressed with that. Again, not that it was a concern, but I slept good last night or Saturday night after just seeing how physical guys were, and there was a lot of mistakes. We had a long way to go, but if we can play that physical and we play with that kind of effort, then we'll have a chance to have a good team.
Great. Coach, thank you very much.
Sure.
We're getting specialists today. Can I just ask you how you feel about the punters right now?
Yeah, sure. you know, they're obviously Brad comes back and he's played in games, so he's got to be kind of the leader of that group. He's again got to be great. Jesse's come in and shown that he's got a strong leg. He's you know, a mature guy, but he's assimilated pretty well, I think. You know, for coming from Australia, and you know, he's got a team to kind of you know, become one of the guys. He's got a new country he's got to move into. I mean, there's a lot of things there, but he's done a good job, and I think the guys appreciate that. And you know, as tough as a punter can be, he's shown some toughness there. I think maybe the fact that he's played rugby or whatever it was he played over there, Australian rules football, he's got a little edge to him, and I think the guys appreciate that. And then in the place kicking, Noah and Jake have been you know, working through and battling for that job, and at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the guy who's the most consistent. You know, we don't need guys to make 55-yarders. You know, we just need to make sure they're consistent, you know, inside of 25, you know, somewhere in that 30-yard range. They just got to be good, and if we can do that and just make sure that they're strong there, then you know, we'll be okay. And then, you know, all the kickers are working on kickoffs, so a little inexperience there, but a good group, and they've had a good summer and a good preseason.